my name is Paul Church from Claritystamp here in the UK. Thank you for joining me for another episode of YouTube. I'll get this right one day. YouTube Tuesday. Okay. So today what I want to do is showcase a set of our beautiful fresh cut aperture dies. This is our Floral rounds collection. We've got 6 different designs in the collection, together with a set of beautiful nested circles. Okay, so we'll pop that to one side. Let's have a look at the more exciting stuff, which is our beautiful designs. So we've got daisies and friends, chamomile and friends, marigold and friends. That's one of my favourite ones. Periwinkle and friends, primrose and friends, and finally we have the cornflower and friends. And I think this is one of Barbara's favourites as well. Right, okay, so in addition to the lovely set of die collections we have, we've also got one of our beautiful II books. So what does II stand for? Well, II book stands for Ideas and Inspirations. So what that means is our beautiful design team have made a collection of cards using these dies, and what we've done is we've put them into this beautiful wire bound book. So what that means when you open it up and you look at a project and you think, oh, I like that, let's see how we do it. And then what you can do is you can fold that over, put it in front of you, and then get to work. So in this book we have available, we've got 30 different ideas. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to flick through very, very quickly. But just to give you an idea of all the different sort of techniques that are included in this book. So when we go to the front, you've got a lovely introduction from Barbara. Then on the back inside, you've got an index of everything that's used. So you can go through that list, check to see what you need, think, oh yeah, let's pay a visit to the website. I need this and I need that. Then you've got an index of the dies used. And then obviously we then go, oh, that's nice, pretty in pink. So you can see from this is done by the lovely Dee Paramore, that she's used a striking pink together with the nested circles to make that card. So if you want to know how to do that, then pop along to the website and put this in your basket. So today I thought I'd show you something a little bit different. So what I'm going to show you, this is what we're aiming for today, is this beautiful card here. Now what I've done is, if I hold it up to the side so you can see, we've got a lovely little window and you've got this beautiful background. So how do I create this background? Well, go grab a cup of tea or coffee and see what we get up to. So to start off with, what we're going to do, we're going to take a piece of designer paper. So I've used, I think this is from Indian Summer or Rainbow River or Northern Lights. I wonder. Check out the website and you'll see which one I've used. So what you'll find from our designer paper is that you've got a beautiful vibrant image on one side, and then you've got a more softer palette toned down on the reverse. So it means then it's great for your matting and layering, because you've got that beautiful contrast of the more vibrant design with the more softer side. So let's bring in our plates from our Gemini machine. So I've got a clear plate, I've got a poly pocket, which was the idea of Dee Paramore's. I'm going to take our piece of designer paper, and then I'm going to position my die, and I'm going to decide where I want to put that. Let's put that there. Then I'm going to bring into play the nested squares, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to offset it slightly, so it gives the illusion that it's not exactly central. And then I'm going to offset that one as well, so we've got like a droplet type of effect. Now I'm going to get some low tack tape, because I know my luck, I'll put my sandwich together and then they'll all slide about. So we'll just hold all those into place there. Is that what I want? Yeah, that's what we're going for. So we'll bring in the rest of the sandwich. So we've got the frosted plate, we've got the magnetic sheet. And the reason I put the magnetic sheet here rather than on top of the dies is because all I'm doing is using it as a shim. From experience, if you've got the dies around the wrong way, what happens is you put that on there, run it through the machine, And then you've got loads of lovely little fridge magnets. So by putting it this way, all it's doing is applying the pressure, protecting your magnetic shim, and then you won't have any fridge magnets. So we're just going to run this through the machine. And now for the reveal. So we'll open up our sandwich. We're going to carefully remove our low tack tape and grab hold of it. There we go. Slowly peel that back. Ooh, don't want to rip that. There we go, easy does it. Then we're going to remove our dies. Okay. So I've now got this I could use on another project. So we'll pop that to one side. This is going to be my outer frame on the outside of my card. And then this is my piece of artwork, which I'm going to put on the inside. But can you see how quick and easy that just fell away from the actual die? So if I bring in my little waste bin, and we're going to empty this into here. Look at that, quick, easy, empty with a few taps of the finger. Pop that to one side, get rid of all the scrap on there. So we're going to pop this to one side now, keep popping everything. So pop it here, pop it there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my card blank, and I want to create an aperture within the middle. So what I'm going to do, because the card is actually bigger than the actual base plate, what I found was that sometimes you could get a mark on the edge where it overlaps. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the fold of the card to the edge of the plate, and then that will stop the pressure being applied when it goes through the middle. So then I'm going to take the circle die and I'm going to position that just there. So we'll take that little bit of tape just to maybe down just a little bit more. There we go. Hold that in place there. Pop the sandwich back together, and then we'll run that through the machine. Okay, so we'll open up the sandwich, carefully remove the tape. So I've now got my aperture within my card, and then another piece that I can use on a card at a later date. Right, so that's got my aperture. This is going to be my outer frame. That's going to go on the inside of my card. But now I want the base of it is a bit plain. So what I want to do is add some background to it. So what I'm going to do now is turn our die cut into a stencil. So I've taken a piece of 7x7 card, and I'm going to pick up the die, and I'm going to position that into the middle. I'm not going to worry about taping it down, and then we'll get our sandwich together. I may regret saying that in a minute. Okay, so we're going to lift this off, bring the waste back into play. So this is now going to become our stencil. So I'm just going to pop that to one side. I don't know if you can see, but it's a little bit buckled because of the stretching of the pressure within the running through the machine. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take it and run it back through the machine. Okay. There we go, much better. It's a lot more flatter, and when I come to use the stencil brushes, which I'm about to do now, the brushes won't catch it so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some scrap paper. I don't want to get ink all over my black mat. I'll pop that down there. I'm going to put that into place. Okay, and now I'm going to bring in my blending mat. This is where we never have enough space, do we, when we're crafting? We've got the biggest space, we work on the smallest, and then we just fill it up with everything. So let's pop all that to one side. And I'm going to come over here a bit. I've got my blending mat, and then I'm going to take a selection of inks, and I think I'm going to go with the little Wedgwood green. So these are great little ink pads. So all I'm going to do is put some ink onto the blending mat, and then I'm going to take one of our stencil brushes to pick up the ink. Now I could take this and try and load it up, but because the brush is a lot bigger than the ink pad, it's easier to put it onto a blending mat to pick up and load the brush. Okay, now what you don't want to do is go straight onto your card. So I'm going to test to see how much ink I've got on there. And it doesn't look a lot, but it's surprising how much is on there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to position this over here, and then I'm going to gently brush in some colour onto the design. Now you don't want to go on too heavy, because all you want to try and do is create a subtle background. Okay, and try and keep away from the circular edges. So if I lift that off, you can now start to see the design building up. So now if I lift this away and I put a clean piece of paper underneath, you can see I've got a really nice subtle background on there. Now I could let that dry a bit, because obviously I've been pounding it and pounding it. I could let that dry, and then that could become a card as well. I could cut out another circle. So always think about that, or you just keep it and use it as a stencil. So we'll pop that to one side, and now we can start to assemble our card. So there we go. I don't know if you can see, it probably looks a little bit more dramatic now that I've actually folded the card. So what I want to do is position that in the middle there. Okay, so what I picked up a good tip was, where's my tape gone? There it is. What I'm going to do, it makes it easier, is if you actually tape the flap of your card down. So I'm going to tape that down along the edge, like that. I'm going to tape that side down as well. And what that does, it just helps to keep it flat, because you've created that aperture in the middle. So I'm going to take wet glue again, because it gives me the manoeuvrability, and then we're going to put some dots here, there, everywhere on the leaves and the mat. There we go. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to position that inside the aperture. Gently press down, and then again a tip, if I take a piece of copy paper and rub over the top, then it stops my big fingers catching all the little delicate parts of the design when I'm actually rubbing it to make sure the glue. I could have turned it over, but it's better if you do it this way. So we've got that in place now, and then we're now going to add the drop shadow. Now when you're putting this on, you can go in all different directions to get a different look, but I think I'm going to keep it simple. And again, I'm just going to put some glue just on the frame. And pick that up. Position that into place. Decide where you want to put that. So I reckon just about there. And gently apply some pressure. Copy paper again, and then rub that down. Then we can lift that off. gently remove your low tack tape. Get rid of any fluff from the cat or the dog that's lying around. And then when we open that up, we've now got our beautiful aperture card. So if I now bring both cards into play, depending on the paper you use, the colour of the ink pad, this would look lovely in blues to give that really sort of that expensive pottery look that's quite popular over here in the UK. So again, this one's slightly lower than that one, this one's higher, so I could put a verse on there using some of our stamps. So I hope you've enjoyed today's YouTube tutorial. If you have, please leave a comment below and like and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Barbara Gray blogs every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. If you like the products that we've used, then visit our website, www.claritystamp.com. Thanks for joining me again this week, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.